Hey everyone, and welcome back. So today is going to be a speed paint video for you, and it's rather fast because I had to speed it up to about 20 times. If I hadn't, it would have been, I think it was on regular time, a couple hours of video. So I don't think anybody wants to sit around and watch me do this for 2 hours. And then I shortened it. I think it was even at 8 times, it was about almost 20 minutes. Well, I guess 16, 17 minutes. And I thought that would be a little too long. So we're around 8 minutes. So I think that hopefully will be pretty good. I can cover about 8 minutes of speaking time as I'm still getting used to voiceovers. It all seems really unnatural to me to be talking into a phone, which is what I'm using right now. If you have any good suggestions for speaker to use for voiceovers, let me know. That would be great. As I go along here, I'd like to get some better equipment. But anyways, in the meantime, here we are. So what I wanted to do with this is a piece that I had actually done last year. I'd done a drawing of it for the Inktober challenge, and that challenge for this year is only less than a month away now. So I thought as a warm-up, I would get out some of my acrylic inks and do that piece. I had taken the drawing that I'd done and I had traced it with my light tablet, my Huon. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but if I can remember, I'll put a link to it on Amazon below because it's been absolutely wonderful. So what I did is I took my drawing and I traced it with a light tablet onto some watercolor paper, and it sat like that for almost a year because I wasn't it's so crazy, but I wasn't. There it is. So there's the painting, there's the original drawing that I had done, and I wasn't sure how I wanted to reproduce it on watercolor paper with some better inks. So then I just thought, this is ridiculous. I can always do it more than once in more than one version. So I just grabbed my FW acrylic inks and just went at it with my water brush, which is what I really like to use for my inks, because if I want to water it down, all I have to do is squeeze some of the water that's in the brush into the ink that's going on the paper, and I can water it down, which I don't do often because I like the black to be really solid, but sometimes it can be really handy to have. So for this piece, I just decided to go for it, and I initially couldn't figure out if I wanted to do watercolor or ink, but I thought since Inktober is coming up, let's just do it. Let's do this, do some ink, warm up for what's coming in October, and just get her done. And if I didn't like it, I could always do it again. So that's what we're seeing here. So once I had all the inking done, I needed to figure out what weight of marker I was going to use. So I decided to get my swatch sheet that I had actually created for the class that I made on Skillshare. I'll put the link below, but I took all of my markers that I had that I use for outlining and made a swatch sheet of them to see the different weights that I had, how they reacted with different media, such as water-based markers and watercolors and Copics. And I chose one of those to do my outline here. So that's what you see here is I chose my extra small Pitt pen, and I realized it was dying on me, so then I went for the small Pitt pen and used that for my outline. And then for my white lines, this is another thing that I mentioned in the Skillshare class. One of the things that I do like to use is the calligraphy nib with the Dr. P.H. Martin's, I think it's called Bleed Proof White. And I needed to thin it out a bit. I hadn't used it in a while and it started to dry out. So I just added some distilled water to it and thinned it out. And I would just use that to make my outlines, and it worked really well. I tried the Posca pen, but it was a little too thick. So I went back to my nib and to do all of my outlines. The nice thing about the nib is if you want a really thin line, don't use a lot of pressure. And then when you want it thicker, just push it down a bit more. And which is kind of neat because then in the same line, you can make it really thin and then push it down a bit and it'll go thicker, and then lighten up the weight and it'll go thinner again, which has a really nice effect. And I do it for some parts in the hair here. So what this piece is about, it's called Fear of the Blank Page. So I'm sure every one of us that has done any sort of creating on paper or even Procreate these days or anything like that, you get to the point where you look at that white page and you're just not sure what you're going to do, and it seems very overwhelming and scary. And intimidating. So you've got all these voices in your head saying, you can't do it, it's going to be awful, I'm going to mess it up, which is the reason why this specific drawing took so long for me to actually do on the watercolor paper as a good piece. So, you just got to go for it, put those voices aside, and just do it, because there's always another sheet of paper and you can always try again. But I'm happy the way this turned out, and I added some ghosties at the bottom coming from the page itself, because of course we've got the voices coming from our heads that are telling us it's going to be awful, and then we have like the ghosties that are appearing from the page that are saying the same thing. You can't do this. This is going to be horrible. Oh, it's so painful. So anyways, that's what the piece is about. And I really like the way it turned out, and I'm going to be offering it as prints in my Etsy store, which will be updated come September 9th. So I've got so much to do and I'm really busy with that. Going to put in some older pieces and then some newer pieces and a little bit of stickers, and it's all going to be ready to go in less than a week. I think I've got 4 or 5 days, and this baby's going to be in there with it. So I hope you like. And I hope you've enjoyed this super, super fast speed paint, super speedy paint. I hope I'll see you for Inktober, and don't forget to check out my Etsy update. So there we have it. I really like the way it turned out. So like I said, it'll be in the Etsy shop coming up soon. And thanks for watching again. It's been a blast. If you like what you've seen here, please like and subscribe for updates for the next videos. I would really appreciate it, as I am building my YouTube channel. And we'll see you next time. Have a fabulous day or week or weekend, or wherever you may end up being at the point when you watch this. So take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.